Hi, bigenderdotnet viewers. Did you miss me? I'm Brin, and I have been, again, lax in my collab channel duties. So I'm going to record a couple of videos here in short order since I have the opportunity so that I can post them on time. And it's actually Monday, so this is my day to respond to Sam's question about dreams, so I'll get to that one 2 videos from now. Because this is for video topic number 9, week topic number 9, which comes from Alex. And Alex asks our first 2-parter. So we're going to answer one part this week, because I'm going to put this in the playlist with all the rest of them, so it looks like I did it the same week. And then the second part will be answered next video. Alex asks, what are some of the difficulties in being bigender? For example, on a personal grooming level and or closet, and dresser, socially, doing errands, out and about, meeting, hanging out with other people, at work, sexually, romantically, legally, etc. So that's a lot of options to talk about. And I'll just pick a couple of them. So, let's see, difficulties in being bigender. Well, the big one is trying to get other people to recognize and respect your identity. And, you know, that's all part of the coming out process. So when you tell people that you're bigender, you have to explain how you want them to use pronouns. Often they'll ask whether you're going to use hormones, and I just did a personal video about hormone use, so that's why it's stuck in my head. You know, what pronouns you want them to use, when you want them to use those pronouns, how they can expect you to appear. You know, on a couple of occasions I've had people be upset because I showed up or had intentions to show up and, you know, looking like a girl when they were expecting a boy, and it shouldn't have mattered, but it did, and it causes some problems. So your friends and your family have to change their definition of who you are in their heads, and that's always hard for people to do. So that is the big one. That's the first one. Romantically speaking, yes, one more thing you have to explain to a potential significant other. You know, there's a pretty good chance that when they meet you, you're going to be only presenting one way. You know, you're going to be giving them a single gender presentation, and then somewhere along the line, you're going to have to show them your other one, or one of your other ones, or, you know, the rest of them, if you have multiple genders. So it's a little frightening, because partners can wonder, does that make me bisexual if I am attracted to this person regardless of how he or she is presenting? You know, is that a problem? Or, you know, they have to figure out, am I okay, you know, being romantically linked to this person when they are presenting the same sex as me? And that's hard for some people to do. Let's see. So legally, the other one's legally with IDs and stuff like that. I actually have a visual aid for this one. Some time ago, I went to the Secretary of State's office, which is what we call the DMV here in Illinois, and I needed to renew my state ID, okay, as well as my driver's license. So my driver's license, the way that Illinois handles their pictures is sort of a little funky, okay? So when I was renewing my driver's license, or it wasn't up for renewal yet, so I couldn't retake a picture. That's what it was. But my state ID was within the time frame allowed for renewal so I could retake the picture. Now, my old state ID had this picture, which I was taken when I was about probably 21, which would have been when I first got my state ID. Although this says it was issued in 2004, which would have made me 26. So maybe this is me at 26. So, one more time, because this is approximately what my driver's license picture also looks like. So there you are. That's lined up with my face. So I have a very male picture on my driver's license. And when I was allowed to retake the picture, I knew this was coming, so I had them retake it with this picture. Trying to avoid glare here, but you can see it's a much more female presentation. Much more similar to what you're looking at right now. So, the reason I did this is because when I am out, I'm usually using one specific gender presentation. You know, whether it's male or female, you know, it's very distinct and defined. You know, I'm aiming for a particular gender, okay? And it is really sort of deflating to be out dressed as a woman and have to present an ID that has a male face. If I have to give my driver's license to a police officer, then it doesn't matter what my gender presentation is. They're going to get the male, you know, they're going to get my driver's license. That's what's got the male picture. But if I'm at a restaurant and I want to have a beer, then I can present my state ID, which has my female picture, and they'll look at the birth date and they'll look at the picture. Sometimes they'll look at the name and the gender marker, and those will indicate, of course, that I am legally a male. But most of the time they see the picture, they see the birth date, that's all they really care about, and I get my beer. So it's been really nice having two forms of, you know, a form of legal identification for both gender presentations. So I tell you all of that so I can tell you this. In the middle of last week, I got pulled over for speeding. Legitimately, I earned that ticket. I'm going to earn those 5 hours in traffic school, or whatever it is. But, and so I lost my license. I have this traffic ticket instead. You know, the local police department has my driver's license. I'd forgotten this, and I went to I'll just say, it was Binny's. I went to Binny's, which is this alcohol supply warehouse, for those of you not in the United States, or who don't have a Binny's in their region, to buy some beer for a gathering I was throwing. And I was out with my girlfriend, and I was presenting mail, since I had just gotten home from work not long before. So we're in line at the register, and I present my my beer to the person at the checkout. His name was Jason. So Jason looks at me and looks at my girlfriend and says, "I'm going to need to see some ID." So I went into my purse, well, my wallet. I carry it around as a boy too, because I just don't care. I feel like I can get away with that. So Jason says I'm going to need to see some ID. So I'm rifling through my wallet, and I realize I don't have my driver's license. My girlfriend said, "Well, if I show my ID, is that okay?" Because I told him I had had a ticket. He's like, "Well, you know what? If he hadn't come in here, then sure. But now that he's here, I have to see his ID." And I'm like, "Fine." So so I said to him, "Here's where it gets weird." And he said, "Oh, okay." And I handed him my ID. Well, I handed him this ID. And he says, "So what's weird about that?" I was like, "Well, some people aren't really so cool with it all." He's like, "Look, I went to college at," I think he said DePaul. Well, anyway, on the north side of Chicago. And when he was there, he lived in Wrigleyville, which is just next to Boys Town. And he said that all of his friends used to hang out in Boys Town, and he would go there too. So he's both familiar and fine with non-heteronormative lifestyles. And he said, "What do you mean some people? Did you just stereotype me?" And of course, I was left in a sputtering mess because he's African American, and I realized that, you know, some people sounds an awful lot like you people, which is not at all what I meant. His color hadn't come into it at all. There are literally some people who are not so cool with alternate genders. But my girlfriend pointed out that the more favorable phrasing is not everybody. So there's a lesson for you in this as well. Never say some people, say not everybody. But yeah, so I thought that was a funny story, you know. And he was trying to make me uncomfortable on purpose. He was giving me a hard time and being sarcastic. But no, he was really cool with it. But it's the very first time that I've been out as a man and had to present a female ID. In order to get anything, let alone alcohol. But I've had to do it I've had to do the reverse a number of times. So, yeah, so that's one of the difficulties of being by Tinder. As for closets and dressers, so we just moved into this house, and there's actually less closet space than there was in my old apartment, and so my girlfriend and I are really trying to use them very efficiently, and we're having to rely on dressers. And I already had 2 dressers in my bedroom, so now there's 3. But I have a boy dresser and a girl dresser, and the girl dresser has more clothes. So, yeah, that's really all I had. Your computer. Okay. That's all I had this week. I will post another video next week for next week's topic, which is what are some of the good things about being bigender. So until next time, please subscribe if you haven't already. Please subscribe to all of the individual channels of the participants in our collaborative channel. If you have any questions, please leave us a comment or send us a note, and we'll be glad to answer them. Perhaps we'll use it as a video topic. So, thank you very much. See you next week.